look at this beauty, the Ilyushin IL28. It's one of the slightly later Airfix boxes. There's a very nice picture though, with what appears to be, is that a MiG zooming away in the background? MiG fighter. I think this is a kind of fighter bomber. It's a jet, it's very Cold War. Despite saying it's a later box, look at that, 145p, £1.45. And I think this was something like a Series 3. Doesn't say on the side. It's probably staring me in the face and I can't see it. Anyway, look at that, what a beauty. My dad made this for me when I was probably about 5 or 6. Largely because he was into jets and he liked making them. So we'll let him off. Which means A, I owned one for a very long time and really liked its sleek lines. But B, I never actually made it. So now's the time to resolve that. My dad, I don't know if he knew what he was doing or if he just liked the colours. My dad actually made the Chinese version with the green top, although he made a far paler green, which looked rather nice. I'm going to make the Russian one. Lots of noise. I'm going to make the Russian one. See, maybe I'll buy another one and do the Chinese version another day. The box has still got one of the sellotape sealers on, which is rather cool. Which means this really hasn't been handled much at all. There's the markings, lots of Chinese stars. Oops, up you come. And nice old Airfix instructions with obviously very simple colourings. And here's the stuff. Silver plastic, I remember that. The bag's been opened, but that's about all. And look, got this off the internet. You get a free razor blade. When razors were razors. I won't go through all the parts, but for something that is so sleek and what appears to be simple, there's a lot of bits, isn't there? So, that's that one. Oh, and by the way, we're back up where the first couple of films were actually filmed. The house has been so taken over by things. I can't get in the workshopy bit that I usually do them in now. Can't get in the kitchen where I tend to run to in emergencies. So we're back up in the tiny little room above the workshop. I have no idea what the original use of it was, but now basically the cat sits in the window and I've taken her box and put this board on it. So there we go. Part 1, bits and pieces, mainly cockpit stuff, needs a bit of a repaint. A kind of before and after. These are the wheel hatches, for want of a better word. That's without the hatch, that's with it. I've got to straighten it up a bit. They're not glued, they're just lying there. So that's how that's progressing. Wings and the greater part of the engines coming along slowly but nicely. And suddenly it's almost done. It's as if the model is making itself. It's a remarkably well designed model. All the pieces fit together so smoothly. It's rare, I find, that it's come together really quite so swiftly and easily. Well done, Airfix, in 1968, I think. Look at that. It's going to need a bit of cleaning up though, colour-wise, paint-wise, surface-wise. This crazy plane looks like it's sticking its tongue out. Anyway, engines. You get a nice cowling, and I don't know if this is going to show up. And inside we have a little bit of engine, just enough. Fits in really neatly into there. Now I've dollop some glue in because I had a bit of a glue nozzle problem, so it's best put it somewhere where it can't be seen. And the airplane's fallen over, and there's the rear gun, which is a very nice. Can you just see the gearing on it? It's really good. This is a good one. Shame it fell into the box like that. It doesn't look very sophisticated. Got the glassware on at last. I seem to have lost 2 shots, which finishes the model off, which is a shame. There is an interesting thing. There's a kind of hatch for the bomber, I suppose, the bombardier or whatever. It's just ahead of the cockpit canopy, and it's to one side. And if you put the man in, then you can't close the hatch. If you close the hatch and you move the man, you can't see the man. So really, you just take the man out, which is what I've done. And then I put that had to be cut to size, unfortunately, and I wasn't going to do that kind of thing. And then I put the small number of markings on, and then it was ready to go. What a dreadful day to do any filming. Well, there it is, all the parts on, and the very few markings, which were really rather good. It's a relief. There aren't too many sometimes, and they went on nicely. So that was alright. The silver's gone dull, and yeah, some of the parts weren't happy. It's a very, very dreary sky, isn't it? What a shame. I might put this to one side. Yeah, that's the giant flying sheep that are often found accompanying these aircraft. Anyway, I might put this to one side and do some more filming on a blue skied day at some point. But at least there's enough silver on this to pick up a little bit of light. Somebody wants guinea pig crunch, don't they? The glass stuff didn't go so well. I did work hard on that, and I used a toothpick to get the acrylic off and all of that kind of thing. But wow, still a little bit shaky on that. Meanwhile, here's our chums who want guinea pig crunch. They haven't got the patience. It was in this very sky. It was... Start again. It was in this very sky, right there, that I saw a real Russian, ultra-modern, what do they call them? Not really a spy plane, more like a reconnaissance thing, I think. I'll look it up on the internet because I did before, and I could identify it from its wing shape and its tail in particular, which means it wasn't that high up. It sounded very different to anything I'd ever heard before. I have to say that. That's what made me so interested. And you could hear it coming a long way off. And then it crossed a break in the cloud, and there it was. Hopefully the men in black don't turn up and execute me. I will happily say that I was lying and making it up. It was all a fantasy to suit my ego. And I'm happy to take bribes. You know, lots of money, good car, some dancing girls, cake's good. Cake, crisps, chocolate, and beer. Nice, dark, bitter. Just in case the men in black are listening. That's my price. I'll bow to that. So it's all done. It was a good model. It did go together well. There were a couple of seams that don't look good, actually, now I look at it. One of the wings didn't quite fit perfectly, and the seam down the fuselage, the kind of dorsal top bit, is a bit rough, which is a shame. And I've looked at it and I thought, well, I could smarten it up, but then I'll start damaging the paintwork, and then I'll have to respray it, and I'll have to cover up all the cockpit and glassware and things like that. And you think, oh, okay. And now I've got the markings on anyway, so I've made myself a bit of a problem there, haven't I? So I'm leaving it at that. I'm going to have to start a box with the models that might need a little bit more attention. But apart from that, actually it's a very, very enjoyable model and a very fascinating looking design. Very Cold War in so many respects, isn't it? So I think that's it on this one. We're done. We're done for now until it starts niggling at me and says, get me out of the box and finish me off properly. But I was trying not to do that, wasn't I? Trying to resist. But there we go. Thanks for watching. Oh, and the Russian aircraft I thought I saw was, I think it's called a Beriev A60. I know that's supposed to be grounded, but that's what it looked like. So anyway, say hello to the men in black.